All right, so today we're talking about the fear of Yah on the Sabbath day. Praise Yah. Um, when talking about the fear of Yahweh, the first scripture I go to is Job 28 and 28. And it says, and he said to humankind, truly the fear of Yah, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. So when we talk about the fear of Yah, what is the fear of Yah? The fear of Yah is wisdom. So we're talking about wisdom and people having wisdom. People need to get an understanding of what wisdom is. Wisdom is the fear of Yah. And to depart from evil is understanding. Because you can have the wisdom and the fear to say, I should not do something. But understanding is when you actually apply your wisdom and don't do it. That shows you have understanding. And I want to go to Second Chronicles chapter 1 to expound on the fear of Yah. Because, and let's go there. Second Chronicles chapter 1, what does it say in verse 7? That night, Elohim appeared to Solomon and said to him, ask what I should give you. Solomon said to Elohim, you have shown great and steadfast love to my father David, and have made me to see him as king. O Yah Elohim, let your promise to my father David now be fulfilled, for you have made me king over people as numerous as the dust of the earth. Give me now wisdom and knowledge to go out and come in before this people. But who can rule this great people of yours? And I'm gonna unmute my brother. Hold on. Why this thing ain't working? Okay, there we go. But what does it say? Oh, greetings, Sharon. What does it say though? That the only thing Solomon wanted from the Almighty, he said he could ask for riches and all the gold and Canaan. He could ask for many things, but he asked for wisdom. He asked for the fear of Yah. That's what he wanted more than anything. And look how the Almighty answered him. He wanted the fear of Yah. That's what he wanted. And the Almighty said, he answered Solomon, because this was in your heart, and you have not asked for possession, wealth, honor, or the life of those who hate you, and not even asked for long life, but have asked for wisdom and knowledge for yourself, that you may rule my people over whom I have made you king. Wisdom and knowledge are granted to you. I will also give you riches, possessions, and honor, such as none of the kings who were before you, and none after you shall have the like. The greatest king, King Solomon, the greatest king because he wanted to fear Yah. He wanted wisdom. And I don't know if you want to type in the private chat when you want to talk, brother. You can talk at any time, or because I don't know. Usually it's some music. I mean, it's some noise in the background. What's up, brother? Brother Ben. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to, you know what I'm saying, cut in, you can. go.
Right. Yeah, I'm traveling on the road right now, so I'm trying then.
Okay, let me know. In fact, just hit me on the private chat when you want to talk, so I can see it. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to drown out some of the noise. But yeah, just hit me up. Let me know. Okay. I wanna go to the book of Job. Okay. But like I said, right here we see that Solomon, he wanted the fear of Yah, and that's why he was given everything, because wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. But with all thy getting, get understanding. See, the fear of Yah is to understand the difference between knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge is not wisdom, and wisdom is not understanding. How is wisdom different than knowledge? I mean, yeah, how is wisdom different than knowledge, and how is understanding different than wisdom? Well, if we go back, and my bad, family. But if we go back to Job 28, he said, the fear of Yah, that is wisdom. And to depart from evil is understanding. So wisdom is the fear sinning, fear breaking the commandments of the Almighty. The fear doing it, to know right from wrong. But understanding is to actually do the right thing. And in fact, I'm going to go to Genesis 29 to further expound on the difference between wisdom and understanding, because Joseph had wisdom and understanding. Okay, private chat. Okay, the brother ain't putting that in the private chat. All right. Now we go to Genesis 29 and we read verse 7. What does it say? Sure. (39) verse 7, it says, and after a time, his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph and said, lie with me. But he refused and said to his master's wife, look with me here. My master has no concern about anything in his house, and he has put everything that he has in my hand. He is not greater in this house than I am, nor has he kept back anything from me except yourself, because you are his wife. How then could I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Joseph saying he's trying to avoid evil. He's saying he got wisdom. He had wisdom. Wisdom is what? The fear of God. So if he has the fear of God, why would he sin and do this great sin against God? He has wisdom, which is the fear of sinning. And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not consent to lie beside her or to be with her. So he's showing his wisdom now, but this is when he showed his understanding. One day, however, when he went into the house to do his work, And while no one else was in the house, she caught hold of his garment, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. When she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and had fled outside, she called out to the members of her household and said unto them, "See, my husband has brought among us Hebrews to insult us." But he said, so she grabbed him and said, "You better have." And not only did he have a fear of Yah, which is wisdom, but he also had understanding to avoid evil. And understanding is to avoid evil, like it said in Job 28:28. Oh, private chat. Question. Okay, go ahead. My bad.
All right. So my question is that what people did, what he did to.
All right, my bad. You kind of broke up.
Yeah.
My bad. You kind of broke up. Could you repeat that?
Do you have any scriptures that go into how to magnify our fear or grow our fear of the Most High? How do we amplify? Hello?
So you saying, do you want scriptures like that?
I'm saying, do you have any that talk about, besides asking the Most High, which is probably primarily, the primary one, is there anything that, people did to, grow and amplify and they fear?
Well, when we talk about wisdom, we have wisdom books. When we talk about people growing their wisdom, you have to learn wisdom, grow it. And I'm gonna give an example. So Proverbs 14 and 17 says, hold on, I'm gonna mute the mic. When you say how people grow their wisdom, if you look in Proverbs 14 and 17, it says, "A quick-tempered man makes a fool of himself, but the prudent man is at peace," right? It said, I'm gonna go to verse 16. "A wise man is cautious and shuns evil, but a fool is reckless and sure of himself," right? So when we talk about growing wisdom, what does it say about anger? Anger rests in the bosom of a fool. So we got scriptures, you know what I mean? That's in Ecclesiastes 7 and 9. So even in Job 13 and 15, it says, "Holding your peace is wisdom." The man, it talks about he who don't have control over their spirit are like a city without walls. That means if you don't have control over your emotions, your anger, then you're like a city without walls, broken, and anyone can invade. So when we talk about wisdom and growing your wisdom, my suggestion would be reading wisdom. They have sometimes people every 30 days, if it's Proverb 1, they would go, because it's 31 Proverbs. Every day they would go through a proverb. But yet, growing your wisdom or growing your fear of the Almighty, you would have to learn who the Almighty is. One thing about growing your fear of the Almighty, is the fear breaking His commandments. So in order to grow your fear, and I'm gonna let whoever talk, but in order to grow your fear, you have to know the commandments. You have to know right and wrong. Most people don't even know the commandments. They don't know what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, how can you fear eating swine if you don't know the Almighty commandments against it? You couldn't fear it at all. But let me bring the brother back. Oh, you chose to mute yourself? Okay. All right. But and I want to also go to Proverbs 14 and 6, because you were talking about what can we do to grow our wisdom. If you read Proverbs 14 verse 6, it says, "The senseless man seeking vain for wisdom, but knowledge is easy to the man of intelligence." Okay, so what does that mean? That means people who want to grow their wisdom, if they hate the Almighty anyway, if they don't want to keep the commandments, if they want to do what they want to do anyway, it's senseless. It's those who have a heart to want to do what's right. Because it's easy. But knowledge is easy to the man of intelligence. What does it say in I'm gonna read it in the King James. And all you do is put something in the private chat. Okay, it says King James 14:6. The scorners seek wisdom and find it not, but knowledge is easy to him that understandeth. So knowledge is easy to those that understand. Now we just talked about understanding. Understanding is avoiding evil. So it's easy to those, knowledge and all that stuff, it's easy to those who want to do the right thing. It's going to be hard to those who don't. But I want to go to certain things because I'm glad you said that, because you're talking about people that want to grow it. But the fact is, if people want to grow the fear of the Almighty, then they have to want to grow it. It has to be something within inside of them. If you go to Proverbs 15:21, it says, let me go right there. What is it? What does it say? What does it say? Folly is joy to them that destitute of wisdom. I'm gonna go to Proverbs 10 to prove. Oh, that was in Job. Yeah, Proverbs 15:21. That's what it says. It says, folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walk uprightly. So what does that mean? I'm going to celebrate my pagan holiday. Folly is joy to them. Let's go to Proverbs 10:23. What does it say? It is a sport up to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding have wisdom. What are we talking about? Wisdom. Wisdom is the fear of YAH. So it says it's a sport for a fool to do mischief. It's a sport for a fool, a fool just in front of you with a pork chop in his mouth. I don't know. It's a sport for a fool to talk about all the evil that he's done. It's a game. It's fun. But a man of understanding have wisdom, meaning a man who's avoiding evil, that's the one that has the fear of evil. The fear to do the wrong thing. The fear of YAH. And I'm going to go to 14:9 because it says, fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. As I said before, we got two different people here. When you let it be known what the Almighty's commandments are, and people say, oh, well, you can't celebrate Valentine's Day. You don't like your woman because you can't celebrate Valentine's Day. They make a mock at sin. Oh, it's Halloween time, and fools gonna dress up and have all the time and make a mock at it. They say, I know it's a pagan holiday. I know it's got to be something wrong. Got something evil about it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But senseless man seek in vain for wisdom. Verse 29 said, he that is slow to wrath is of a great understanding. He that is slow to anger, that's wisdom. See, you fear. How is being slow to anger having wisdom, having a fear of YAH? Because the Almighty said somebody who cannot control their emotions like that is a fool, does foolish things. Anger rests in the bosom of a fool. But if you have wisdom, you'll be slow to anger. And I want to read two more scriptures Let me put this in here, because if anybody want to join or you want to say something, I wasn't gonna make this too long. I thought it was gonna be 15 minutes, but I put the link into the chat box. And I'm gonna finish this off by going to Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. And this is one thing I want to put emphasis on. This says, for wisdom is a defense. Now we know wisdom is the fear of YAH. That's what we're talking about. And money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom give life to them that have it. Money doesn't give you life, but the fear of YAH gives you life. Wisdom gives you life. Wisdom is over money. That's a big problem in our communities today. Is people look for money, and when you have money, you're a good person. Let's talk about a billionaire, our former president. Because he has $1 billion, we don't look for his wisdom, because wisdom's going to keep y'all together. The fear of sinning, doing what's wrong, not being prideful and arrogant, because that's the evil way. Because it's wise to be humble. That you have the fear of the Almighty when you're not arrogant and uplifted and thinking that it doesn't matter what the other person says. I'm always right. That's a fool. That's somebody devoid of wisdom. But wisdom keeps people together. So when we talk, oh yeah, well, he got to have money, and that's the only way that I'm gonna submit. And then they go to divorce court and take him for broke. That's not what you should look for. Because wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. And a wise woman is a crown to her husband. Wise woman, not because they have to have wisdom. They can be an evil woman with money, and it's going to break up. It's going to mess up. But it's wisdom that keeps people together. It's the fear of YAH that keeps people together. So when they say wisdom is a defense and money is a defense, understand the fear of YAH is your biggest defense. Remember, we were just talking about a person who can't control his emotions is a fool. He's the anger, the rest in the bosom of a fool, because he just can't control it. He just don't have no control over his emotions. That means he don't have no wisdom. And we know what anger does. It has you killing somebody or somebody killing you, or you attacking somebody verbally or physically because you cannot control yourself. So, but they can have money but have no wisdom, and they won't live long. We know a lot of brothers who gang a different type of lifestyle where it was the no wisdom lifestyle. It was a dangerous lifestyle. So money did not save them from death. But who saves you from death? The Almighty saves us from death. His wisdom, the fear of YAH saves from death, not money. And I'm going to read it one more time and go to my last scripture. It said, for wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. That's why I read the scriptures on wisdom, because wisdom is the fear of YAH. When you read wisdom, you read the fear of YAH. You might as well put the fear of YAH there. And I'm going to go to one more scripture. It's Proverbs 9:18. Okay. And I'm going to read verse 20 to finish this off. And this is not just for the nations. This is for you too, Israel. Put them in fear, O Yah, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. You are nothing. Put them in fear, O Yah, that the nations, they're talking about somebody higher than you. The proverb is telling the Almighty to humble nations of people, not just one person. We're all individuals. Of course, we need to humble ourselves and put ourselves in fear of the Almighty, fear of Yah as individuals. But this proverb is saying to the nations that let them know they are just dust and ashes. They can die at any moment. The Almighty, He can go and destroy your whole nation. He can put you. He has destroyed nations. The Almighty destroys nations, let alone just you by yourself, just one man. He said, humble a whole nation, but we can't humble ourselves as individuals. He said, put that fear in them. And I pray the Almighty put that fear in all of us, including myself. Because that fear of Yah is wisdom. And that's what's going to save us. So, with that being said, unless the brothers has anything else to say, I'm going to exit stage left. But I want to give all glory to Yahweh. Unless the brother does, I'm gonna mute the brother because you wanted to mute yourself. All right then. Well, oh snap! Gotta add him to the screen. Oh snap! Oh yeah, will you unmute yourself? All right. Well, I want to give all glory, all praises to the mighty Yahweh on this Sabbath day. We talk about the fear of Yah. We're gonna be doing this every Sabbath with the brothers. More brothers gonna come on. We got the brother Ben Yama. We're gonna have other different brothers come on. I know I need to tell all the different brothers we're gonna be on. Okay, we got a brother came through. Shalom.
Peace, peace. Unity goes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, peace, everybody. And just a quick question. If the Israelites as a whole is obeying the Sabbath, right? Then why are they still in captivity?
Could you say that one more time?
Yeah, a lot of the brothers and sisters confess that they're obeying the Sabbath or keeping the Sabbath, right?
Uh-huh.
And so if that's true, my question would be, well, if you're keeping the Sabbath, then why are y'all still in captivity and they've been keeping the Sabbath for over 100 years, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, one thing, and there's several different instances of this, but if we got one brother holding an idol and they can't find the idols, the whole gets punished. And I'm gonna mute you for 1 second. I'll mute you for one. I heard some little background stuff. So when we talk about us keeping a couple of us keeping the Sabbath, a minority of us keeping the Sabbath, and why are we not out of captivity? If only one or two of us, it reminds me of. I want to go to Genesis chapter 18 to answer your question, because in Genesis chapter 18, what's the name asked that same question. Abraham asked the same question to the Almighty, but it was different. What he said was, he asked the Almighty, well, if you have 50 righteous in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, will you destroy the city for those 50 righteous sake? And the Almighty said, no, I'm not going to destroy the city for those 50 righteous sake. And then he went all the way down to 10, and he said, I'm not going to destroy the city for just 10's sake. But these people were righteous, and that's the reason he didn't destroy it, because there's a small minority of righteous people in the city. That does not mean the Almighty is going to deliver the city, because we know majority of our people are not keeping the Sabbath. But we're talking about in Sodom and Gomorrah. He said, the Almighty said, in Sodom and Gomorrah, if you have righteous people doing the right thing, obviously they're keeping the Sabbath, would you destroy it? And he said, no. But he didn't say, well, because we have a few righteous people, that you're going to deliver us out of this evil. No. I don't think that's a criteria, because we have a small remnant of us doing right, that the whole is now all of a sudden delivered. If you understand where I'm coming from, do you?
Yeah, I understand what you're coming from, but what I'm saying is it's a lot of Israelites, a lot of camps confessing and teaching that they are keeping the Sabbath. So I don't see no need to keep people in captivity if majority of the camps and the individuals who confessing to be Israelites are keeping the Sabbath. What would be the purpose of keeping them in captivity? Because that's one of the main reasons why they went into captivity, if I'm not mistaken, is because they was breaking the Sabbath.
And this is what I would say. You know, a lot of times people want to believe that they know how the Almighty is going to judge people. Like, for instance, Moses, he hit the rock. He said, "Drink, ye rebels," but he didn't bless the Almighty. So therefore, Moses was not able to go in the promised land. He had to die before he went in the promised land. But King David committed adultery. Shabbat shalom, Brother Michael. King David committed adultery, but he was able to live to an old age. He didn't die like Moses. The only thing Moses did was hit the rock. So why did the Almighty judge Moses different than he judged David? See, we want to act like we know the Almighty's judgment. Oh, well, if we got a couple of black people doing this, the Almighty his judgment should be this. You don't know the Almighty judgment. It's kind of haughty for you to think that because they did this righteousness that they're supposed to. I mean, where are you getting it from?
No, I'm not. I'm taking it the wrong
way. Hold on, real quick to interject. You gotta look at this question is, okay, if we keeping the Sabbath, why are we still in captivity? Well, the whole reason for one captivity wasn't just the Sabbath. It was disobeying the Most High. And he put a time stipulation on that punishment. So it wasn't like, oh, if you start doing right and turn around from your wicked ways, he gonna take you out of captivity. He already said, okay, you going into captivity. These are going to be the curses, and you're going to be there for a certain period of time. And every single one of those punishments was a certain period of time with a certain amount of curses. So that captivity wasn't based on whether we did right. It was a certain time period. It was a time frame and time period in which the Most High moved. It wasn't really dependent upon us or not, because even when they was wandered the desert, it was a whole time where a whole generation died off. So the Sabbath day is important, but it wasn't really a criteria for us coming out of captivity.
Okay, well I read where if they keep the Sabbath, turn from their wickedness, then he would deliver them from captivity. So that is a criteria.
Second Chronicles and 7 and 14.
Not just that, but
talking about that.
Not just that one. It's just some other scriptures that talks about that one in Ezekiel, primarily about why they went into captivity, because they kept disobeying the Sabbath. So what I'm saying is also, if you turn back to the Sabbath, that was one of the main criteria of bringing you out of captivity.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
It's in Ezekiel. It's in the book of Ezekiel.
It's like this. You can't just do a transgression and just stop, and now all of a sudden, okay. No, it was already done. It was already done. So now you got to follow the punishment that come along with it. You know, I mean, even if you start turn your behavior around, you still got to fulfill that punishment.
No, I get that.
So there's nowhere. Yeah. So what is being said, even in Second Chronicles, is more than just a Sabbath day. It's turn from he said his people turn from their wicked ways, they do this, they do that, but that's still keeping in mind.
Okay.
That's still keeping in mind that it was a time period. It's a time frame.
I get you. So okay, no problem.
So it's a lot. So even in all those verses, it's a lot more than a Sabbath day.
So watch this then. Okay, so to add to that, then it's Negroes, if I'm not mistaken, according to the calendar, they've been in captivity for over 2,500 years. So when is the captivity over with?
Now, I want to speak because I mean, like I said, we know how the four beasts change times and seasons. So when we talk about there's different dates, I have to really check your references. I mean, for real. And I know you can go on a big spiel on whatever links you want to bring, but when we talk about it, we on the Almighty's time because this man has messed up time.
Okay, so no problem.
But I do want to finish real quick because you mentioned Ezekiel, so I want to read Ezekiel chapter 20, and I'm gonna start at verse 33. As I live, saith Yah Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. I will bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein you were scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yah Elohim. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you in the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. And I will bring them forth out of the country wherein they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Right? Okay, so what we're seeing here is we're seeing how he's going to purge us out. How when he's taking us from scattered throughout, he's going to have a process. This is going to happen. This is going to, so are you trying to hurry the Almighty and say it's supposed to happen now? Because of what prophecy? Because of I'm trying to get an understanding.
No, I'm not trying to hurry. I think that Israelites are procrastinating and trying to delay their own deliverance by constantly coming up with excuses on staying or remaining in captivity. It's been over 2,500 years. That was the prediction, that you would be in captivity for about 2,500 years, according to Daniel. So the 2,500 years is up.
Okay. Now, I got a question for you because I see what you're saying. We got Ben Ami, who's at Israel today. Are you saying that we should do what Ben Ami is doing?
I'm saying that we should. I think that if that's true and that the scriptures is true, which I mean most people think the scriptures are true, then you're supposed to put your destiny in your own hands to a certain extent. What I mean by that is, with the help of God, do what you can do in the physical realm to bring forth your success in life. It's like us. We don't wait for the Caucasian to say, here, go to school. No, you go to school, get a trade or whatever, because you want to be successful in life.
Now, what did I just read?
So we don't have to wait for him to go get a car or a house, but we want to wait for.
So you don't believe what I just read then?
No, I'm saying when God said he's going to do it.
Let me finish real quick.
Okay.
He said, I will bring you out from the people. So does that mean you gonna do it?
Yes.
Or did the Almighty say he gonna do it?
That means both.
I will gather you. He said, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye were scattered with a mighty hand, with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people. What are you trying to bring the people? Because he said he's gonna bring people to the wilderness of the people. Where are you trying to go?
Okay, if God says he's gonna do that, how you think God's gonna do it? He's gonna do it on his own.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you, where are you going though? Like,
I'm asking your question. Okay. If God said he's gonna do something, he's not gonna just do it without you being a part of it. Like when he brought them out of Egypt, he didn't just take them to some miraculous, invisible, David Copperfield type of stuff. They had to walk out. They walked out, and they went out with a leader, Moses.
Okay.
The saying is, people think that
I'm gonna go back to the question I just asked you though. I'm gonna go back to the question I just asked you. Do you want us to do the same thing Ben Ami did? Because when Ben Ami took himself out and went to Israel, he's in Damona, Israel right now. The prophecy did not happen. That's not the wilderness of the people. When he said, I will bring you out into the wilderness of the people, Ben Ami did not do that. He's in Israel today.
No, I understand.
Not him, he's dead, but his people are in Israel today, and that is not a fulfillment of prophecy. So what you're trying to do is a self-fulfilling prophecy? Are you trying to do it yourself?
All
I got a
prophecy.
question of clarification.
I wouldn't call it that.
I
I would say. Let me ask this question right quick. I would say that there's no need to continue to procrastinate if you got the power to do what God told God. If God say He's going to do something, then He's going to do it through you. He's not going to just do it on it.
Once again, you're not answering that question. I'm saying, do you want us? What do you want us to do? You want us to do the same? That's what Ben Ami thought he was doing this, right?
No, I don't think Ben Ami. I don't think Ben Ami thought he was doing that. I don't think so.
Okay, when he was he took him out of the land of captivity and brought him back to Israel. Where do you want to go?
No, this is what I'm saying.
I don't asked you that question. You didn't answer the question. Where do you want to go?
Okay, first of all, I'm not saying I want to go any particular place. I'm saying that, but let me deal with Ben Ami. First of all, Ben Ami,
else, because you coming up with the idea, but now you're trying to throw.
I'm not coming up with the idea. I'm saying that's what the Israelites.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm saying that's what the Israelites been teaching for years, and I've been hearing it.
Could you clarify exactly what they've been teaching?
They've been teaching that America is not their homeland, and that their homeland is somewhere in Africa, whether it be Northeast Africa, I don't know. But I'm saying this is what they told me. My mentors had told me. Okay, so I'm saying that if that's the case, what is they waiting on if their land is over there in Africa?
What I'm telling you is somebody did go back to Israel. And that was not fulfillment of prophecy. They still
I don't.
And in fact, the Almighty said He gonna gather us from all these nations and put us in the wilderness of the people. They didn't do that. Okay.
First of all, Damona Israel. When they went back to Damona Israel, I don't even know if that's Israel. Number two, Ben Ami was believing in Christ Jesus, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if he really fulfilled that. I don't think he was trying to fulfill that prophecy. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think he was trying to fulfill that particular prophecy you just read about.
But what he did was exactly what you said. He said, this is not our home, so we're going to go back home. People do that and nothing happens because it's not the Almighty's time. It's when He decides to do it.
Well, maybe they didn't go to, maybe it wasn't, it's not, I wouldn't say it was, I wouldn't say it wasn't Almighty's time, because there's always time to get out of captivity. There's not a
time. Okay, well, it wasn't Almighty's time to do it. He, like I just read to you, Yahweh saying this, I will bring you out into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. You're going to be dealing with the Almighty. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness. What did He do in the wilderness? Think about it when we was in Egypt. He was with our people. Our people seen the signs of the Almighty. This is what's going to happen when it's the Almighty's time. He said we're going to be just like when we was in the wilderness. He's going to be testing us, just like we was in the wilderness when we left Egypt at a Passover.
Okay,
that's His time. Your time is right now, probably, right? You want to go right now?
You saying in the wilderness. Well, as far as I know, Negroes are in the wilderness right now.
Say it again.
As far as I know, Negroes, Israelites are in the wilderness right now.
Okay, so this is not the wilderness of the people, but when we talk about the wilderness, my point was the Almighty said He's going to be testing us. He's going to be just like when He takes us out and brings us home. He's going to test just like when we had the 10 Commandments. All the people heard the thunderings and the lightnings. They knew that was the Almighty. The Almighty He was right there testing those people. That's what's going to happen when He brings us out. You are talking about, like I said with Ben Ami, let's go back to our homeland when it's not time. The Almighty said He gonna plead with us. He gonna be with us. He gonna take us out. So it's gonna be like we gonna know that He's among us. Right now, we don't know the Almighty's not among us. We don't know that.
You understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? When you say He's gonna take us out, you make it seem like the Creator's gonna do it without human intervention.
Right. This is what it says. So He said, verse 37, I will cause you to pass under the rod. Right. So what is the Almighty? The Almighty is the one directing us to go pass under the rod. Right. He said He's going to be the one. What's the rod? Correction. He's going to be the one to correct us. The Almighty Himself.
I'm not disagreeing with none of that part.
So you trying to make it right now?
I'm not disagreeing with actually none of it. I'm saying that the way we interpret in the scriptures, we interpret in the scriptures to continue to procrastinate to stay in captivity.
But what we're saying is the Almighty is the one who tells us when we leave, not man, and that's what.
Okay, so the Almighty talks through man and through women.
So did He talk to you?
I think the Almighty talks to me.
Okay, well if He talked to you, then the Almighty will give you the tools to lead yours up out of here. But are you trying to put it on somebody else?
I didn't say He talks to me about.
Trying to put it on somebody else. If the Almighty,
I didn't say He talks to me.
Let me ask this. Y'all
but I
kinda
do say this. I
spinning
did
your
not.
wheels. Hold on.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, according to my understanding, Israelites, like, they're going to continue to use that scripture as a means to.
All right, brother Binyana.
Well, hold on. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A lot of what he's saying is predicated upon, he keeps saying 2,500 years. And I want to know, like, where is he getting that from?
Okay, well, he muted my mic. Okay, well, first of all, we know it's been 2,000 years. We're in 2022. It's been about 2,000 years. Then they was in captivity over 500 years before Christ even stepped on the scene. They wasn't ruling over Israel. They wasn't ruling over Israel when Christ stepped on the scene. Foreigners was ruling over Israel. So they've been in captivity for over 2,500 years.
I see. Okay. So first of all, there's a couple different captivities. And you know which captivity is being talking about because the ones that come to pass, they already recorded and talk about them. Captivity in Egypt. And then this captivity that takes place in the second Egypt, the Most High already talked about in Deuteronomy 28, I'm sure you're aware of, and how that's going to take place. And that whole diaspora and scattering, that ain't take place until 1600s. And then Deuteronomy 28 maps that out on how it's going to happen.
And even when you talk about before BC and AD, we was out of captivity 70 years in Babylon. In the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, we came back and rebuilt the temple. So we were in our own captivity. I think he's thinking captivity is just when we don't rule the whole world. As long as we were in our land under a king with the temple up, we were not in captivity.
Yeah, that's
I think Persian days.
So looking at like just understanding more of the book, like even when you talk about bring up the Sabbath day, it's a lot bigger than that. Even every single verse you talk about how we go bring us back, the things we must do. It talk about a whole lot more than the Sabbath day. We can't zero in on one part. Scriptures tell us here a little, there a little. We got to bring everything into focus. It talk about fringes. One part it talk about the cord of blue. The other part just talking about putting on four corners. But once you put everything together, we got a more full picture of what's going on. Even when Genesis, you got the creation story. Some people think it's the two creation stories, not really understanding that one goes a little bit more into detail and one gives just a summary of what took place. So, but Deuteronomy pretty much lay out.
He made that point. He made that point, and that's fine with that. That's not a big issue. I'm just saying that captivity, for the most part, when you're not in chains, is a choice of a people. If a people is in captivity and they're not in chains, then that's a choice. That don't have nothing to do with God's timing. No, God's timing is your timing. When are you going to get up and move?
All right. And I also want to read one scripture though. Go ahead, brother man.
It's some psychological change going on. Psychological change, and not only that, we got more of our people locked up than it was in slavery when we first got over here. Of course, it's a whole lot more of us, so it's kind of a numbers game. But when it comes to the impoverished and the one way in, one way out projects and the psychological mental chains that we in, and this, it runs deep, but it runs right back to Deuteronomy 28 in terms of all those curses we'll be under in captivity. And just because you in captivity don't mean you gonna be in chains like that. It's a whole state. It's a whole state of being the tail end. and not been the lender and been the borrower. And when you look at the whole state of our people, oh, it's captivity. When you're getting gunned down and ain't nothing been done about it. But they could pass a whole law for Asians because they get beat up. But meanwhile, you could be a police officer and write a book after you don't kill somebody and make money and get time off. That's if that ain't captivity, you know. So it ain't all about just having change. It's the whole state of our people.
We in agreement with that, my man. I'm saying that if you're not in physical captivity, then your captivity continue to be a matter of choices that you're making. It has nothing to do with somebody's keeping you in captivity. It's all about you keeping yourself in captivity now, because you're not in chains. So if you're not in chains, somebody else is that means you're keeping yourself in captivity.
I want to read a scripture here, and I'm going to read the book of Isaiah chapter 5. All right. Isaiah chapter 5, and I'm going to go to verse 19. And it says, I'm going to go to verse 18. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it is with a cart of rope, that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. Now, this is exactly what you're saying, my brother. Woe to you. It's exactly what you're saying. Woe to them. Let him make speed, telling the Almighty, do it now, and hasten his work, that we may see it. Let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh. Do it now. But let me continue, though. Let's go to Amos 5 and 18. And what does it say? It says, woe unto you that desire the day of YAH. That's what you do. You desire the day of YAH. Woe unto you that desire the day of YAH. To what end is it for you? A day of YAH. The day of YAH is darkness and not light. And the reason that is woe unto you, and I'm going to read one more scripture. And I'm going to go to Ezekiel, what I just read in Ezekiel. He said, I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you to the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and then that transgress against me, I will bring them forth out of the country where their sojourn. So right here, he said he's going to purge out the rebels. And on the day of Yahweh, he's going to purge you. If you're not right with the Almighty, if you're not a righteous man, and really it'll be haughty of you to think that you want the day of Yah to come. You want the day of Yah to come. But it's haughty and arrogant of you to think you're righteous enough to make it through the day of Yah. When only the remnant going to make it. You ain't guaranteed to make it. And you want to say, oh, let it go. But the day of Yah is woe to you that want to speed it up and you want to go through and pass through that rod. It's like you want to die. But go ahead, my brother.
Well, speaking from real quick, his perspective, one thing he did bring up is that Israel make a lot of excuses on why they ain't coming out. You know, it's been a long time. The time frame has passed. You know, you got a lot of Israel keeping the Shabbat, doing the right thing. So it's coming from his perspective. That sounds like more rhetoric and more excuses on why you're not coming out. And it sounds like he's just looking like, okay, you know, a lot of time frame has passed. A lot of Israel keeping the law. What's going on? What's happening? You know, ain't nothing look like it's popping off. So I don't think he necessarily coming from a standpoint of, you know, rushing, but I do sound like from the way he is talking, like there needs to be some self-initiating process. But I mean, them scriptures, if I was coming from his perspective, them scriptures ain't nothing but more rhetoric and excuses.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. You said exactly what I'm trying to say. You just articulated it. Some people just can talk better than me, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's good.
Well, I mean, and basically,
I'm not coming from the standpoint of or saying, you know, come on here, you rush God, rush. No, I'm saying God is saying, hey man, I done pleased y'all. I done given you the tools, I done given you the knowledge. What are y'all doing? That's what I'm coming from that perspective. I'm saying God has already broken the chains of captivity. If you want to continue to do drugs and overdose on drugs and commit adultery and be homosexuals, now that's you allowing yourself to stay in captivity.
Keep it 100, but keeping it 100. Israel is not doing everything what the Most High told us to do. Because one of the first things He told us to do is when we get to this land, is to build houses, get land, grow gardens, get married, and the order that process is not happening.
Well, we did that already, though. Our grandparents
in the last 10 years.
No, I'm saying our grandparents and our great grandparents did that.
Got bombed, got torched. Sure did.
No, I'm saying, but they did grow gardens. They did get married. They did buy houses. I'm saying our grandparents already fulfilled those prophecies. I'm saying now, I'm talking about now, this generation, they ain't no excuse for us to continue to stay in captivity. If this is not our homeland, if this is not our homeland, why are we still staying here when we don't have to? No one's keeping us here. This government is not keeping us here.
I know, but this is what I'm saying, though, my brother. Okay, if brothers leave, where are they going? Because I mean, think about it is, you know, I think you want somebody to do a self-fulfilling prophecy. You want somebody to make something work. Now, what leader do you think can do that? Can you do it? What leader you think is going to do that?
Well, good question. First of all, I don't think anyone should leave until they know where they're going and have an idea on how they're going to survive and make connections and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, if we supposed to leave, why aren't we making these connections? Why aren't we surveying land? And why aren't we surveying our land wherever it is? Because I don't even know.
Okay, this is my question to you, though, because I know I was asking what leader, and then you were talking about why are we? Now, there's many different houses of Israel around the nation. Are you a part of any of those?
When I say we, I'm saying that's just a particular camp. I'm saying, when I say we, I'm talking about anybody that understands that they are the chosen of the Most High, right?
Uh-huh.
Why aren't we coming together?
Uh-huh.
Having what they call it, a think tank, coming together, figuring this stuff out as soon as possible, right?
Now I'm gonna ask you a question, though. I just asked you the same question, and you didn't answer that question, and I know why you didn't answer the question.
I thought I did answer you.
No, you didn't. Let me
okay, say I'll answer your question. Unity,
okay, that's my question.
I have no fears.
Okay, my question is, you know, because if you are a person that goes every Sabbath day to someone's congregation, then you can.
I don't belong to. No, I don't belong to.
Let me finish. I'm
sorry, I don't belong to nobody's congregation. No.
Okay, you don't. So you just said, why aren't you coming together for a think tank? But you're not even doing it.
I do that.
Okay, with who?
I didn't say I don't attend.
With who? With who?
Just different groups around the United States.
Okay, so obviously you don't have no particular person you're talking to.
I don't have a. You talking about what? Like, I don't have a particular.
So you could never actually do a think tank. The stuff you talking about, you want somebody else to do it because you would never do it.
No, you don't have to be a part of an organization, a particular group.
Yes, you. Okay, so you don't have to be a part of an organization, but you want an organization. Let me get this understanding. You don't have to be a part of an organization, but you want somebody else outside of you that you are not controlling or even having a part of that do something that you want, but you're not going to be a part of it. You want to do something.
I never said that. Why you
okay? No. This is what's going on. What basically what you're saying is.
No, that's not what's going on here.
No, you're saying you want brothers to come together for think tanks, but you're
no,
not.
I didn't say
together for any brothers.
No, I didn't say. Listen to me clearly, man.
Mm-hmm.
I did not say I want that. I'm saying if the scriptures is true based upon what these Israelites have been teaching me in the past, as well as in the present and possibly in the future, then they should have a think tank. They should have already had a think tank together. So if they don't have one, they need to get one together and figure out how they're going to get where they're supposed to go.
But that's the problem, my brother. That's the problem. What you're saying. No, hold on, brother. Hold on.
They teach.
Hold on. That's the problem, my brother. When you talk about a think tank, you're just talking about brothers coming together, putting their ideas together, and moving forward. The majority, if not all, of these Israelite organizations are going to have rank. They have a couple of brothers that always come together. They may have a couple of brothers on the Sabbath day teaching, and they're always putting their brains and their heads together for different projects. The fact is, you are not a part of any of those projects. You want them. Let me finish, though, fam. Let me finish. You are not a part of any of those projects. You want them to go and do certain things, but you're not going to you're not going to put in the effort to actually be a part of anybody doing anything. So you want somebody else to do
That's
something
not
you're
true,
not
man.
doing.
You trying to write a narrative for me. You can't.
No,
do
it's
that.
the truth. It's the
No,
truth,
it's not.
fam.
It's not the truth.
You want
don't know.
somebody to
You
do a
don't know me like
self-fulfilling
that.
prophecy, and I don't want to go back. Let me just finish, and I'm give me 30 seconds. I got you. You can say whatever you want to say. What I'm hearing from you is you want somebody to have a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why don't we go there and get things popping? Why don't we leave America? And they need to already have this stuff together, and then they need to leave. So you telling people what they need to do when you, as a brother, if you feel so strongly about that, like I said, we already did that. Ben Ami did that, and other brothers.
You didn't hear me say none of the stuff you said. First of all, I didn't say people should. I'm saying that this is what people taught me, but I haven't seen none of these people do this. None of it. And Ben Amin did not do that prophecy, and nobody even was truly trying to help Ben Amin when he did do what he did. That's why he was struggling. That's why he struggled so much.
So how do you do the prophecy right? How do you do self-fulfilling prophecy? I want you to tell us how we gonna do this self-fulfilling prophecy you want to happen so bad. You said they need to get think tanks and do what?
I want to happen
what
so
he said.
bad.
It's Zephaniah 2. Zephaniah 2.
I mean, any Israelite.
Okay, hold on. We got the brother. We both been talking. Let the brother say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Zephaniah 2 and what?
He just said Zephaniah 2, which is in the Most High said, before that day, gather yourselves together for his day come. Get yourself just get yourselves together. Just get yourselves together. Try and get on one accord. And he said, well, you know what I'm saying? We got all this stuff going on. How come ain't been no unity to at least, get together to move forward? But the thing is I don't see plenty of attempts. Me and you have been to plenty of gatherings attempts, and let me tell you, man. So like think tanks he talking about, we don't see plenty of. I don't went to this, brother. We don't been to things in the United States where people come from outside the country. A lot of different states, a lot of different cities come together, and leaders come in one room, and we probably been to a conference where people went in one room talking for 3 hours on whether women should wear skirts or pants.
Okay, well, no problem, man. I'm gonna leave it alone, but I just wanted to see what the answers was, and it sounds as though, I mean, I'm content with the answer he gave. Basically, I like what you explained. Somebody, to me, if these are true, I'm just saying, if this stuff is true, the way so many people have taught it to me, then to me, it's just a lot of excuses going on, and a lot of like procrastination going on, because Ben Amin and them is not. First of all, Ben Amin is not even alive anymore, and then number two, I think they a lot of them got evicted out of the country, if I'm not mistaken, or was commanded to leave.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's not what I'm saying, fam. Let me continue what I'm saying. I know you cut me up too. What I'm saying is, if you need to be your brother's keeper, what Benjamin just spoke was that we've been through many different think tanks where we had different ideas, and we implemented those different ideas. If you're going to be your brother's keeper, it's not getting on here telling us what we need to do. It's you being your brother's keeper and going to one of the congregations you agree with and working with those brothers in order to do this self-fulfilling prophecy. Everything in your brain that you want to happen right now, you're bringing it to me right now. And what you want me to manifest your vision. I went to these different congregations, these different think tanks. Let me finish. I went to these different congregations, and I spoke my mind. I gave them my ideas, and we discussed. You have the ability to do the same thing and have the same result. Okay? And so go ahead.
You know what? Really goes, I'm doing that now, and they're gonna do me the same way you doing me and misinterpreting what I'm saying, but it's all good. They're gonna do the same. If I go to these congregations, which I already have, they're gonna do to me the same way you doing me.
And how am I doing you, my brother? How am I doing you?
Okay, you muted me though.
Yeah, I know, because I mean, sometimes we can't talk over each other and things of that nature.
You ain't misinterpreting me. The other brother, to me, he interpreted me 100% precise. You keep.
I keep what?
You keep trying to say stuff I'm not saying.
Okay.
You're interpreting me the wrong way. I'm not telling you to go out there and do anything. I'm not saying you should go out there and do anything. You per se. You just the host. and I'm just talking on online with you.
You say
I'm
you
not
want our
saying
people.
you
You say
should
you
do
want
that.
one of these congregations to do it. One
I'm
thing
saying
about it,
if I'm coming in, if somebody's preaching to me, I'm an Israelite, and then I'm learning from them, and then I'm looking at the behavior, I'm looking at the actions, and I'm looking at the history. I'm like, well, what's going on? That's all. That's what the brother.
okay,
Hey man,
okay,
I'm not trying to indict you per se. I'm saying
I know that.
I was a follower. I'm a learner and a student. Now I'm mature to the point where I can talk, right, about certain things, right? So I'm saying, well, what these folks doing? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, listen, I'm down here. I'm down here in Georgia, and the thing when it comes down to unity, and we can't no one person do it alone. And I know multiple camps. They got multiple pieces, 200 acres of land, putting houses on it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to bring people together, trying to build communities and cities. You know, people. You know, they making big efforts, but can't nobody do it alone. We still scattered. Can't nobody get on one accord. People fighting and fussing over when the Sabbath day start. Meanwhile, we getting gunned down, shot down. Our people in bad situations can't get jobs, and we arguing over skirts and dresses and when the Sabbath start. You know what I'm
That's what I'm.
saying?
Yeah, I'm saying.
And the
You
thing
saying
is,
everything I'm.
I talked to
You
some of my
saying.
brothers, and the thing is
You
for
saying
real in
everything
our
I'm saying. That's what I'm.
situation,
That's what I'm saying.
it's a
Yeah, I'm saying all that.
it's a it's a whole lot bigger than that. It's a whole lot bigger than some of these petty differences. Because when it comes down to come down, we got, you know what I'm saying? We need to improve our whole quality of life. You know, what's the point? What's the point of arguing about some of these things if we can't even, you know what I'm saying, feed our kids? We don't even have decent living conditions.
Okay.
So
I know I'm agreeing with that. So you explaining what I'm saying. So my next major question would be, well, is is it possible that we might be believing in something that's not fully correct? Because it's obviously y'all saying that the leaders can't get together and unify under one paradigm. So are these scriptures
I'll
is
tell you
just
this.
for
I'll
individual
tell you this.
improvement, or what's going on? You know?
I've yet to come across. Under a lot of different studies. I can verify that, you know, scriptures have been tangled around, moved around, books switched around, all kind of things. But I've yet to come across scriptures that just not have been proven inaccurate or not come true based on scientific evidence. Holy
Okay,
scripture.
okay. So it's obviously I've
Not.
seen many Israelites teach that they always say, "See, we can fit the curses." But when is the Israelites going to be fitting these blessings that the scriptures talks about and fulfill their own destiny and be an independent country? Because you say all the scriptures is accurate, but I don't see the fulfillment of the success of it of the Negroes. Where is their success at? We see curses, we see people doing evil stuff, but where's the blessings? Where's the righteousness? Where is the true unity? Where's the true righteous blood?
I've experienced them myself, and I feel right. I see brothers and no brothers who, when they carry out laws and commandments, they have, they have,
You kind of breaking up right now, but I definitely want to cut in real quick, family. I wanted to say this because I like how you went to Zephaniah, brother Benjamin, and I'm gonna read Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1, where you was talking about. It said, "Gather yourself together, yea, gather yourself together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a chaff, before the fierce anger of Yah come upon you, before the day of Yah's anger come upon you. Seek ye Yah, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness, that it may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yah's anger." Now, what am I saying about that? In the day of Yah's anger, okay, you back in here, brother? Okay. The day of Yah's anger is what we're preparing for. You talk about all these different, we are trying to come together. But the fact is, the Almighty said He's going to pass us through the rod, the correction, and purge out the rebels. So on that day, like we just read in Zephaniah, come together before the day pass that He wants to pass right now. That this brother want to pass. He wanted to go. He wants us to speed up the day of Yahweh. Because what he was just asking, he said, well, when are we going to see righteousness? When are we going to see these things? Well, the Almighty said the remnant that returned to the land after He purged out all the rebels, all the wicked, all the prideful, after He killed all the people that cannot be in His land. Because remember, it's going to be real righteous people in the Almighty's land. You think people can come and transport from America straight to the Almighty's laws and His land with His temple, with His cleanliness, and we could just go? No, that's not going to happen. So right now we're trying to seek meekness. But so if you were to say, listen, what you want is tomorrow you want us to get back home, get back to righteousness, fulfill these prophecies. It's not that simple. And really, brother, I want you to really elaborate on the purging. Like he was just saying right here. Seek meekness that you may be hid in the day of Yah's anger. I need you to talk about the day of Yahweh's anger, because that's what you want to happen right now. That's what's been really overlooked. I don't think you're ever going to discuss the day of Yah's anger. So since you want the day of Yah's anger to happen right now.
The day of Yah's anger?
Yes.
I think that's already been fulfilled.
No,
that's obvious. You say you scattered everywhere. That means that was His day of Yah's anger.
No, but see, that's what I'm saying. But in the day of His anger, He's going to make us, like it said Ezekiel, pass through the rod. The rebels are going to be. He's going to purge out the rebels, and then we're going to have what you want. You want us to be back in our land, right? But first, we have to have the day of Yah's wrath, right?
Well, we already did. That's already been.
No. If we read the book of Ezekiel, like I was just showing you in the book of Ezekiel, He's going to bring us out to the wilderness of the people, and then we're going to be purged out. That's going to be the day of Yah's wrath. I guess you just don't understand the scripture.
No, I'm saying, okay, I think we already in the. I think if I'm not in my own homeland, and if I'm in the land of foreigners, then I would already be in the wilderness, wouldn't I?
Okay, let's read it. Verse 24. And I will bring you out from the people. So you're in among the people, right? He said He's going to bring us out from the people, not bring us out from captivity. He said He's going to bring us out from the people. So what you're saying is wrong.
Bring us out from what people?
You don't know the scripture, man.
No, bring us out from what people? I'm asking you a question. Bring us out from what people?
I will bring you out from the people, and I will gather you out of the countries wherein I scattered you. So He's gathering us out of the countries He scattered us. This is Ezekiel talking about passing through the rod and being purged, the rebels being purged out and killed. We're talking about the day of Yah, something you don't want to talk about. So obviously you don't understand the day of Yah, and that's the problem.
Okay, man. I mean, it's all good, man. Whatever you say.
No, hey. I mean, if you do understand the day of Yahweh, help me understand. So you just misunderstood it by saying we already had it. And right here, I'm showing you that that's not the case.
No, I'm saying some of that prophecy has already been fulfilled. I'm not saying the whole prophecy.
Okay, so which line of the prophecy in Ezekiel 20 that I'm reading has already been fulfilled? Because I say none of them have, and I think you're just saying stuff.
I think. Okay, the part that I think has been fulfilled, if those scriptures are accurate and true, then I would say you've already been brought out of your own land. If you're not in your own land now, you're in the land of your foreigners. You're in the wilderness. You're being corrected, or you're being brought under the rod right now, right? So the other thing left would be only to be brought into your own land.
Okay. So right here, He's gonna pass us under the rod and gonna purge out among you the rebels, them that transgress against me. So the Almighty's gonna be killing people that break the commandments. Just like in the wilderness, when we broke the commandments, He destroyed our people. Not because and He's going to bring us to this wilderness. I mean, I guess, like I said, when it comes
I'm saying he is killing people. He is killing people that's not keeping His commandments. He's killing them every day.
Okay. So I guess so it said, I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the country. So we're gathered out of the countries.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not in the countries. Like, we're not scattered among the world right now.
Okay, when he said gather you out of the countries, to gather you out to countries, to where? Are you going to go somewhere else?
Yes, we're gonna go to the wilderness of the people. That's what he just said. And then that's gonna purge us. Then that's not happening right now. You think that's happening right now?
Okay, what is the wilderness of the people then? Let me ask you that.
The wilderness of the people. You said where?
Yeah, I'm saying like where would be considered the wilderness of the people?
Well, what will be considered the wilderness of the people is what the Almighty said He's gonna right here, verse 27, 35. Let me read this. I will bring you into the wilderness of the people. So it's not so if you want me to point a place in the map where it's located, but like I said, this is a prophecy saying the Almighty is going to bring us somewhere. All right, He's going to bring us somewhere, and we're going to plead with us. He's going to bring us out from every direction and bring us into this wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a place that the Almighty chose, but it's not where we're at now. We're scattered right now. We're not at that wilderness of the people that He's going to bring us to.
So you okay? Let me
Now,
make
do
sure I
you think
understand.
so? In order for it to be what He has to bring us there, did the Almighty bring us in anywhere? Now that we scattered, did He bring us anywhere?
Okay, no, I'm saying let me ask you this. So I'm going to make sure I understand what you're saying. So you're saying He's going to bring all His people into one area of the wilderness of the people.
Well, let's see. Let's see what He says. Thus, as I live, saith Yah Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched our arm and for fury poured out, will I rule over you. Right? I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you were scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched our arm, and with fury poured out. Now, what was your question again?
Okay, so he's gonna with his mighty hand, his arms stretched out, he's gonna bring his people into the wilderness of the people.
Yes, and remember, he's talking about with fury poured out. We just read Zephaniah where it talks about the day of Yah and the anger of Yah. This is not. We're not in the anger of Yah right now with fury poured out. Are we in the anger of Yah with fury poured out?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's happening right now. The wilderness of the people could be literal or symbolically speaking. So I think we're in the wilderness of the people right now. We on the internet. This is a wilderness. The internet is a wilderness, in my opinion. It's crazy on the internet. So that can be looked at literally and metaphorically and figuratively speaking.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, we got any other questions, fam?
No, I'm like I said, I ain't knocking what you're saying, Unity Ghost. I appreciate you conversating with me. I just, I'm just, just saying, some things on how I feel or how I see some things. I just feel like a lot of times, I think that men, I even myself, I think that a lot of times men, Negroes just, do a lot of, we just procrastinate and be hypocritical a lot of times when it comes to actually making the moves that we're supposed to make in reference to obedience to the Creator as well as fulfilling a righteousness, which means you will have your own country. If you don't want your own country as a people, in my opinion, that means you evil. We evil. That means we evil. We evil. Because why don't we want our own country? Rooted in righteousness. To me, that's evil to want to continue to be subservient to foreigners and make their agendas be fulfilled and flourish constantly. That's an evil group of people who would want to continue to be in that type of situation and not do what they can do to get out of it. So I'm thinking we're making a choice as a whole to stay in captivity. That's what I'm thinking. But if I'm wrong, forgive me.
All right, yeah. And I'm going to read Jeremiah 13:6 real quick. And Jeremiah 13:6. I'm going to read Jeremiah 13:16. And it says, give glory to Yah, your Elohim, before he cause darkness, and before your feet stumble upon dark mountains. And while ye look for light, he turn it into shadow of death and make it gross darkness. I also wanted to go to Isaiah 5:19 real quick. Okay. And I want to read it. It says, And I really want you to comment on this one. And like I said, it is a Sabbath day, so you can always bring up a scripture. And that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel. Who is the counsel of the Holy One of Israel? That's the Israelites, right? So the counsel of the Holy One of Israel. That's the Holy One of Israel, but his counsel, what his word is, what he wants for us, that's the counsel of the Holy One of Israel, to draw nigh and come, that we may know it. So what you're saying is, these brothers, we have to fulfill these prophecies now. And that's what you want. But all I'm gonna do is give a warning, because that's what Zephaniah said. That's what all of them talking about, the day of Yahweh, the day when, if you're not righteous, you won't be with the righteous. We talk about the Messiah coming. We talk about how King David gonna be king over Israel, and we're gonna have the third temple. I know what you're talking about, because the third temple will be beautiful. I'm hoping that my son or my lineage will be a part of that, part of going back home to the Almighty. And I know that everybody want to come back home. So I understand where the brother coming from, because we don't want to be living in this captivity, living up under these heathens. But if you know prophecy, then the brother don't even know what he asking for. He don't know what he asking for. And really what I'm hearing right now is, I'm hearing that he don't think, I really think he don't think, how you think we're going to transition from this captivity back to our homeland in the Holy Land? Is it going to be a walk in the park? And I'm trying to stress to the brother, the day of Yahweh is no joke. But he's saying yes.
Okay. I think that we are in the day of the Creator right now.
If we're in the day of the Creator, then we should be done.
No, I'm saying we're in the day. We like actually living in it right this moment.
Okay.
I think the Creator is waiting on us. I don't think we wait.
Okay, how long is, so this day is 1,000 years? This is what day you talking about?
Okay, let me see something. I'm trying to make a good example. It's like God has given you hands, you brush your own teeth. God has given you legs, you go exercise and run and jog and box and do whatever else you got to do. I'm not gonna just like, the Creator wants us to do things. You got to build that temple. I'm not gonna go down there and build the temple. Come down and build the temple for you. I'm gonna give you the geniusness of how to build architecture. I'm thinking the Creator is waiting for men to do what they're supposed to do and stop whining and crying and murmuring and making excuses.
Okay.
It's just like if a man got a family, he's gonna keep whining to God. Oh, help me, help me. Okay, you prayed. Now go do something. Go
okay.
look.
Now I know you said that we're in the day of Yahweh right now. I want to go to Jeremiah chapter 30. All right, I'm gonna read verse 5.
Okay.
For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yah of hosts, that I will break his yoke off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve Yah their Elohim, and David their king, who I will rise up unto them. Okay, so it's talking about the day of Jacob's trouble. And in the day of Jacob's trouble, that's when we're not going to be in captivity anymore, right? Do you read that?
Well, I don't. I think the day of Jacob's trouble is now.
Okay, well, if it said, well, let's keep reading it. I'm glad you said that. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yah of hosts, the day of Jacob's trouble was talking about, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Now, is this saying that are we going to break our own bonds, and we going to strangers no more serve us, or did the Almighty say He going to break our bonds in Jacob's trouble? So you saying the Almighty is breaking our bonds today?
Yeah, I think the bonds has been broken, but then it's up to us to also break them. So because we got to work in unison with the Creator. So the bonds would be uh getting rid of all those sins out of your life, out of your soul, out of your heart,
Oh, you
through the Word of
just
God.
talking now.
Huh?
You just talking. I guess you just.
No, I'm
Okay.
serious.
Well, right here. This will say, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Are strangers still serving themselves of us?
Only reason is because of procrastination and
Wait,
lack of
no.
and lack of obedience.
Well, listen what it just said. It said the Almighty is going to be the one that breaks our bonds, not us. This is not a self-fulfilling prophecy. You telling me this is a self that men have to do to fulfill this prophecy yourself, but did the Almighty say He's going to burst our bonds on the day of Jacob's trouble? Why are you trying to make it seem like the people are going to do it? The Almighty's the one who's going to deliver us. He is the Savior.
Then it goes, you misunderstanding me. God's going to do all of it, but He does it through us. What I mean is, yeah, God breaks the bonds, but we got to have a willing heart and a willing mind for it to actually play out.
So we're in Jacob's trouble, but He didn't break the bonds, is what you're saying.
He is broken the bonds. At one time, I wasn't even talking like this. I didn't even know about
it. In order to break the bonds, the strangers are no longer serving themselves of us.
They don't serve themselves of me like they did in the past. So I'm gonna get it's a phase. It's different phases, of course. It's different levels.
So you ain't really trying to be genuine. So
no, listen, what I'm saying is
that's what's up, family. I know it's gonna be a forever thing. So you gotta be right. You gotta be right. I understand that.
I'm fully genuine. That's what I'm saying is it's our responsibility to break bonds, to break the chains of iniquity, to break the chains of slavery and captivity. That is your responsibility. God's already done it. He's already done it in the spirit realm, and He's already done it in the physical realm. In many cases, it's up to men and women who have like minds to do what they're supposed to do and stop making excuses with prophecies.
Okay. Well, you just said we're in Jacob's trouble. We're not in Jacob's trouble. All right.
What does Jacob's trouble mean? Trouble means what? Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble. You just trying to tell me that we're not dealing with trouble and in trouble with God?
Let's read it again. Let's read it again. But thus saith Yah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Okay, let's keep going. Ask ye now, see whether a man doth travail with child. Therefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a man in travail, and all faces are turned into darkness. Alas, for this day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. So you saying right now, this is something like has never been done before, but never slavery. Today is the day of Jacob's trouble. None is like it. It's the worst.
Man, it is wicked for people to have as much knowledge and wisdom and experience.
Brother Benjamin, do you have any
hold on, Unigos. I got this. I just wanted to say this right quick, Unigos. To me, yes, this is the worst time to me because we got all this experience, all this ingenuity, all this wisdom, all this education, all these degrees. Our people's able to speak Hebrew and everything now, and we still allowing ourselves to not have our own country. That is evil and wicked, and that's proof that we're not being obedient. We're not being obedient to the Most High.
What's up, brother Benjamin?
So we can't really just lean on our understanding, and I understand where he's coming from. To him, and it is. I get what he's saying, but the scriptures got multiple places to really describe for us what is going to be happening in Jacob's trouble. And what he's pointing out is every man have his hands on his loins and travail. Is things is going to be so bad that grown men will be on their knees with their hands on their testicles just with the devastation that's going to be going on. It's other scriptures that say you're going to be running. The fear is going to be so great. You're going to be running from a lion and turn the corner and it's going to be a bear. And then once you get away from the bear, you go turn again and the snake go bite you. It's going to be this crazy thing everywhere. And it is not nothing metaphysical. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be more ways than one. And like you're saying, more like the time we're in right now, it is a time as it was no before. So right now, we can't say if things is bad, but things was actually worse 100 years ago in terms of some of the stuff we was going through. So, in terms of physically, things affecting us physically, our physical harm. So, according to the scriptures and what it's saying, things are to come in Jacob's trouble. I can't say we in Jacob's trouble according to what the scriptures are saying that the things going to bring about in Jacob's trouble.
Go ahead, brother. I am.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying that I'm thinking that things are just as bad as it has been any other time, maybe even worse now, because now when you know to do right and you don't do it, that's sin. So we got all this knowledge and information, we got all this exposure to this knowledge and information and technology, and we still is not allowed the Creator to move us into victory.
When we left the wilderness, remember what he was saying when we left the wilderness. When we left the wilderness, we were face to face, not necessarily us face to face, but we had Moses face to face with the Almighty. We seen the thunders and the lightnings, and we seen the miracles of the Almighty split all to do all types of stuff, and we still transgress. So for you to say that because now that we have all this information, we still transgress, is not worse than the children of Israel, who the Almighty was nigh unto them, and they still transgress. So I don't think that your point was really valid when that already took place with our people. I mean, now people are mostly atheists around here. They don't believe in a God. They don't want to, because they're not, the Almighty's not nigh unto them like it was to our people. So with what you're saying, it's not the case, fam. But,
no, it is the case, because remember, you lost your inheritance and then you found out what it is again. So you had been in darkness for 2,500 years, and now you done came back into the knowledge of the truth, and you're still rejecting the truth.
Okay.
And still procrastinating. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's a small minority. Remember, when we left Egypt, all of the people knew. All the people, the Almighty, that they seen the Almighty's miracles and things of that nature. So that would be a lot worse for what you're saying right now. So like I said, what you're saying is just, it's not really too credible.
Okay. Well, no, like I say, no problem. This is just my personal opinions, actually. Yeah. So not like, everybody's going to agree on it or not. I'm just saying that I feel like if you have the ability to make money, but you think God's going to come down and just rain money down on you because he said he's going to provide for you, I think that's ridiculous. I think if you got the power, he gave you the potential and the ability and skills and intellect to make money and to provide for yourself, then that is him doing it for you. Now you just that is him giving you what you need to do it. Now you got to put in some physical and mental.
And you know what? And also the brother Ben Yammer brought out a lot of good scriptures. He brought out the one where, you run from a serpent and the bear meets you. And, the day of Yahweh, every man on his loins. And you're saying that great, frightful, scary day of the Almighty that it talks about in the scriptures many different times are happening right now, nonstop. Yeah. For how long? Yeah. So since you're saying it's happening today, did it just start today? Has it been going on for a year? I mean, we've been in the same condition for a very long time. When are you saying that the Jacob's trouble started?
It started when they lost control of their own kingdom.
Okay, so we've been in Jacob's trouble for 1,000, 2,000 years.
I would say 2,500 years.
Okay, so you saying Jacob's trouble is just not, and that's not what the scripture's saying. You saying Jacob's trouble is not when you have the land. When you go into captivity, that's automatically Jacob's trouble. But no, it's not.
Yeah, right. I think being in captivity is Jacob's trouble, and primarily. But Jacob's trouble could be interpreted another way, but I'm not gonna mention that one. But I think primarily that I will go with that one first. That
Okay, well, right here, Jacob Trouble is talking about in that day he's going to take us out of captivity. So how is Jacob Trouble captivity when the Almighty said on that day he's going to take us out of captivity? Are you saying that for 2,000 years he was going to take us out of captivity?
okay, you say Jacob's trouble is what now?
On that day, I don't think you even look at the Bible, do you? You don't even look at the script. On that day, it said he's going to
It's
take us
not
out
a
of
sin.
captivity.
Hold on, it's not a sin not to look at the Bible.
I know. I'm just
Because
saying when we're talking about the Bible, we should be, discussing it. But
no, I'm just
like,
saying that
let me finish. Let me finish. It said, "Alas, and that day is great; that none is like it." So you're saying that no day was like this 2,000 years you're talking about? You said for 2,000 years. The Almighty said a day is like a thousand years in this site, but you saying 2,000 some years was the day of Jacob's trouble, where he's going to burst the bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of us. But the whole time, strangers are serving themselves of us. But you
okay, I
saying
got a question.
Jacob's
I'm
trouble.
trying to understand. You saying Jacob's trouble has something to do with being out of captivity or in captivity?
Yeah, that's the day. That's when he's going to take us out of captivity. It shall come to pass, verse 8, in that day of Jacob's trouble, say Yahweh of hosts, I will break the yoke off thy neck and will
In what
burst the
day? In
bonds.
what? I think you
And,
miss.
and strangers, okay, let me read verse 7.
Can you read the whole verse? Because in that day, is it what day is you talking about? Are you talking about in that day of deliverance or in that day of Jacob's trouble?
Oh,
Which one?
let's read the whole thing then. I don't need to be cut off when I'm reading it, okay? All
Yeah,
right.
no problem.
Okay. Jeremiah 30:1, the word of that came unto Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus speaketh Yahweh Elohim of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken to thee in a book. For lo, the day cometh, saith Yah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, Yehudah, saith Yah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I've given their fathers, and they shall possess it. That's what you want to happen. And these are the words that Yahweh spoke concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yah, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. So right here he said, I will bring in, for lo, the day come. And this is, you saying the day of Jacob's trouble is when they in captivity. But verse 3, I'm glad you told me to go to the beginning of the verse. Verse 3 proves you wrong. This is what it says. For lo, the day come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, saith Yah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I've given to their fathers, and they shall. See, the Almighty said, the day is coming when I will cause you to return to the land, because now you're in captivity. But the day, which is the same day of Jacob's trouble, the day is when I'm going to cause you to return and go back home. Okay? So right here, so let me finish. So right here, you're seeing that Jacob's trouble is not when we're in captivity, but you just been proven wrong on that. It's the day will come where he'll take us out of captivity. This is the day he's talking about. Let's continue though. Verse 5, for thus saith Yah, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. Ask ye now to see whether a man doth travail with child. Therefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned to paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. And it shall come to pass that day, saith Yah of hosts, that I will break his yoke off thy neck and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Now, why does he say that in verse 8? Because we read in verse 3, he said, and I will cause them to return to the land that I've given their fathers, and they shall possess it. He's going to break them yokes and bring us back home. That's going to happen on the day of Jacob's trouble, not this 2,500 years day of Jacob's trouble where we're in captivity the whole time. That's not the day of Jacob's trouble. Okay. But they will serve Yah their Elohim and David their king, who I will raise up unto them. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yah, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. So right here, he's talking about taking you out of captivity. Jacob's trouble is not when you're in captivity. Jacob's trouble is the day he's going to take you out of captivity.
No, I disagree with that.
All right.
You
disagree with what Jeremiah 30 said. Can you go to Jeremiah 30?
I don't think you don't.
Can you go to Jeremiah 30 and prove it with the Bible instead of your own mind and your own interpretation? Can you please
got
do that?
the Bible. I'm about to tell you, Jacob's trouble. He said he's going to save you out of it. He's going to save you out of
What verse is that? What verse is that?
You just read it.
No, I mean, I want you to look at the Bible. I don't think you're actually looking at the Bible.
I'm saying
you don't want to go with the Bible. You want to go with your own mind, because if so, I don't really want to have too much of a discussion, because basically you're saying what's not here. and I
It's
want to
okay.
read
You
it
don't have to
together.
have a discussion with me. That's cool
Yeah,
with me.
that's what's up then. That's what's up, family. We talk about the Bible. I really want you to go to the Bible and show
I mean,
me.
I don't have a Bible on me. What you want me to do? You want
I
me to
mean,
look
you're on a
up that
computer.
Bible?
You can look it up. Do you want me to look?
I'm
You
not
want
on
to
a computer, man. I'm not on no computer.
Oh, okay? All right then. Well, I guess right now you need to come back
I'm
when you have a
saying,
Bible.
but I don't see that scripture the way you see it, but it's okay.
Okay,
Ain't
that's
no
what I'm
beef.
saying. You don't
I'm
see the
not gonna
scripture
beef.
at all, fam. That's the problem.
No, I'm saying
You're
Jacob's
not looking at
trouble
the
is.
scriptures at all. So you say I disagree with what he just read.
I think you interpreting it wrong.
Okay, what did I interpret wrong?
Jacob's trouble is when you got problems and difficulties going on.
What part of the scripture did I interpret wrong? What did I say in the scriptures?
Jacob's trouble is problems. He's going to deliver you out of that, which means deliverance out of Jacob's trouble. So God's going to
Okay,
deliver
wait,
you
hold
out
on.
of.
Where does it say to deliver you out? Where does it say that?
I think you read that in verse 3. I don't. You wouldn't.
Okay, I will cause them to return to the land that I've given their fathers, and they shall possess it. He said he's gonna cause them to return to the land on that day.
No, that's a different day. That day is different from Jacob's troubles day.
Oh, well, okay. So the day talking about in Jeremiah 30 is different than the Jacob trouble day.
No, you got the day of deliverance. You got a day of Jacob's trouble. We right now. We still.
Oh, so it's two different times. So the day of Jacob's trouble is not the day of deliverance.
No.
Okay. Okay.
That's a day of deliverance. Well, you're not in trouble then. Once you delivered out of trouble.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But the Almighty said all throughout Jeremiah 30 that he's going to take us out from captivity and deliver us to our own land. So, like I said, since you don't see the Bible, you're just going to keep a disagreeing.
No, I'm saying when somebody deliver you out of something, are you still? If you was in prison and somebody come and deliver you,
bro, listen. As men, we're gonna need to talk and not cut each other off. You know what I'm saying? That's what women do, and that's what causes emotion to arise.
I'm asking you.
No, seriously, family. I understand that, but when you cut people off before they get their whole thoughts out, that's we're grown men. We don't do that.
I didn't know I've cut you off. Excuse me.
I know. I understand. Okay, so as I said before, now I'm just talking to somebody who don't even have a Bible in front of them and telling me something that I don't see right in my face. So I feel like we can come back next week. But for me to keep going back and forth with you when I'm trying to read you the Bible and you telling me it's not what it says, but I'm not going to look at it.
I'm gonna look at it, but I don't have a chance to look at it at this moment.
Okay, well then we don't need to talk though. I mean, any wise man.
I can listen to it. I mean,
I understand that, but we don't want to do that.
So you don't want to hear me say?
We don't really want to do that. Okay. So, brother, yeah, thank you. So we're gonna brother Benjamin. I'm gonna end this off. Any last words you want to say?
I would probably want to hit it from a different angle, just for a little bit next Shabbat.
Okay.
To get back to original time at 2 p.m. And so I can get like that 15 minutes. I ain't really get to go anything. But other than that,
speak up a little bit. Speak up a little bit, brother. Speak up a little bit.
All right. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. It was good to have the brother come on and, add to the conversation, And it's cool, like, you ain't gonna be, it's cool, it could be peace. You ain't gonna agree with everybody, but, people can say what they got to say, You ain't gonna agree with everybody and see different perspectives. But other than that, I was edified and learned a little bit, learned some different perspectives. So,
Yeah, and that was good. And
tune in the Shabbat.
Yeah, when it comes to the brothers, I want all the brothers to make sure you have your scriptures on you, because we're seeing it, and we're seeing that we really need to talk about the scriptures, because man lie, but the Almighty doesn't. The Yah's word stands forever. And if we're going to reason with each other, we need to reason with each other with what the Almighty says and not what we think He says. You know what I'm saying? So we can kind of break down these different words, and get an understanding of what the Bible is actually saying, instead of what we think, because what we think that doesn't really matter. The Almighty's word is what doesn't come back void, not our interpretation of His word. You see many different times come back void. So, like I said, if the brother would come back, I'm gonna be doing this every weekend. When he come back, we can discuss. But that's what's up, my brother. Anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, shalom.
Shalom. Praise Yah on the Sabbath day.